Hi dear students, I am Srinivas sir from Sri Sai Sadbhavana School. We have studying, that means we are learning the chapter adaptation in animals. Adaptation in animals unit 2, that is second chapter adaptation in animals. In the first part, we have studied about what is the adaptation, what is the meaning of adaptation, what is habitat. What is the habitat? Habitat means the environment where that animal or the living thing lives. That is called as its habitat. Okay. Next, what are the types of animals? What are the types of habitats? What are the types of habitats? That is terrestrial. That means on the land, in the water. Okay. On the land itself, there are three types. That is desert, polar, and grassland animals. We have studied. Okay. According to the desert animals, camel, and all those things, how they have adapted themselves to live. And comes to polar animals, polar areas, how they adapted themselves with their fur and as well as the thick layer of fat under their skin. Thick layer of fat under their skin protects it from the cold. Like that, they have adapted themselves to survive. Adapted themselves to survive. In grassland also, they adapted themselves that the giraffe has long neck to take, that means to pick the leaves from the long trees. If the grass is not available, it is possible to pick the leaves from the trees also. As well as sheep, kangaroo, we have studied. Okay. Next we have studied about the aquatic animals also. Aquatic animals, that means the animals which are living inside the water. Inside the water. Next we will studied amphibians. What are the meaning of amphibians? What is the meaning of amphibians? That is the animals which live in water as well as on the land. Which lives inside the water as well as on the land. We have studied up to here. Okay, page number 22. Page number 22. Here they have given the figure of alligator, toad. Toad means frog. Okay, they have given the pictures. Now we will go for aerial animals. Aerial animals. Please see the textbook. I will read aerial animals. Animals that fly are called aerial animals. They have wings with either feathers, most birds, or large flaps of skin pads to help them fly in the air. They have hollow bones and thin and delicate skeletons that keep their weight low. They have good eyesight, as most birds have, and hearing. This is about the aerial animals. Aerial animals means the name itself indicates air. Aerial. Aerial animals. That means the animals which live in the air. The animals which live in the air most of the time. They are not 100% they are living in the air only. Most of the time in their life they are spending in air. They are called as aerial animals. They take rest on some places, but they are staying in the air most of their lifetime, so they are called as aerial animals. Aerial animals. Animals that fly are called aerial animals, which are flying animals. For example, birds, bats, they are all called as aerial animals. They have wings with either feathers. That means most birds have feathers. Most birds have wings with feathers. Wings with feathers or large flaps of skin. Large flaps of skin means skin is modified into feather-like structure. Skin is modified into wing-like structure. Wing-like structure to help them fly in the air, which helps them to fly in the air. Okay, that means aerial animals means the animals which are flying in the air are called as aerial animals. They have hollow bones and thin and delicate skeletons that keep their weight low. Here, these animals have hollow bones. HOLLOW, hollow bones. That means the bones are not solid structure, they are hollow. That means pipe-like structure because it fills with the air and light in weight. They are light in weight. And a delicate skeleton that keep their weight low. They have good eyesight. That means from the far away distance, they will see the small things that will fall on the ground and they will catch their prey. That means they will catch the small animals. From there, they will see and just they will come and catch it and they will move away. That means their eyesights are very sharp. Okay, and hearing also, and they will hear the sounds very clearly, small sounds very clearly. Okay, you understand that aerial animals or the flying animals are called as animals that fly are called as aerial animals. They have wings and either feathers or large blocks of skin. That is bats to help them fly in the air. They have hollow bones. Hollow bones means light weighted bones which filled with the air and very delicate skeleton. That means the bones are not strong. The bones are not strong. Very thin bones are there. Okay. For what purpose? To reduce the weight. To reduce the weight. They have good eyesight and hearing also. Next, we will move to arboreal animals. Arboreal animals. I will read. These animals live on trees and tend to have long tails for maintaining their balance. They have good eyesight and hearing. Monkeys and tree lizards are some arboreal animals. Many have claws or fingers for gripping branches and special toes that can stick to vertical surfaces. These arboreal animals. What is the meaning of arboreal animals? These animals live on trees. The animals which are living on the trees are called as arboreal animals. Okay, they have long tail. They have long tail. That means now you understand which are the animals? Monkeys. Which are the animals? The examples for this are monkeys and tree lizards. Tree lizards. These are the example for arboreal animals. They have good eyesight and hearing. Once again, I will read. These animals live on trees and tend to have long tails for maintaining their balance. That means they have long tail to maintain the body balance on the trees. That means for jumping, okay, for climbing, everything, the tail balances the total body. The tail balances the total body. They have good eyesight. These animals also, same as aerial animals, these animals also have good eyesight and hearing also. For example, monkeys and tree lizards are some arboreal animals. Many have claws. That means claws means like the hands, okay, like this with the skin in between the fingers, okay, are fingers for gripping branches and special toes that can stick to vertical surfaces. That means if you want to climb like vertical surfaces, it is easily climbed. It is easily climbed vertical surfaces as well as gripping in the higher places, that means height places. Otherwise, what will happen? It will fall down. So they have very grip in their hands. They have very grip in their hands. That is, the hands are modified in that structure. Okay. That about the arboreal animal. Examples are monkeys and tree lizards. Next, we will go for adaptation for food. We have studied how they are adapted for living on the earth or in the air, in the water, and in the arboreal, that means on the trees. Next, we will go for adaptation for food, how they have adapted for the food. That means on the land, that means on the earth, we won't get same type of food for all the animals. They won't get the same type of food, all the animals. According to the availability of the food, they converted, that means they have adapted themselves. They adapted themselves. We will read this one by one. Okay, I will read adaptation for food. Animals can be classified into four groups according to the type of food they eat. According to the type of food they eat. That means animals are divided into four types. How many types? Classified into four groups. They have classified into four groups according to what they eat, what the food they eat. Okay, first one is herbivorous. First one is herbivorous. The first one is herbivorous. I am reading. Plant eating animals like cow, goat, and giraffe have been classified as herbivores. They have sharp biting and strong grinding teeth. They have long and strong legs to travel over long distances in search of food. Herbivores, that means plant eating animals, that means they eat only the plants. They eat only the plants, they are called as herbivores. Herbivores, that means plant eating animals like cow, which are the examples: cow, goat, and giraffe. Next, cow, goat, giraffe, horse, rabbit. These are all the examples for herbivorous animals. Herbivorous animals. Okay, cow, goat, giraffe, horse, rabbit. These are all the examples. They eat only the grass. They eat only the grass. Plant eating animals. That means they eat only the plants. Not only the grass. They eat all the plants, but they don't eat any flesh or anything. They have sharp biting and strong grinding teeth. That means they have sharp biting. That means to cut the leaves from the trees or from the plant, it has sharp, and grinding, to grind it. That means to smash it, they have grinding teeth. They have long and strong legs. That means they have very, very strong and long legs to travel over a long distance in search of food. That means if they don't get the food, they will travel to the long distance in search of their food. So they have a strong and strong legs, long and strong legs. Long and strong legs to travel from one place to another place in search of food. If food is not available, they will move for so many kilometers for in search of the food. That is long and strong legs they have. Okay, here they have given the figure of cow. Some turtles can lay up to 100 eggs at a time. Believe it? Just you learn about herbivorous. Okay, now you understand the animals which eat plants. Plants eating animals are called as herbivorous. Plants eating animals are called as herbivorous. Next come to carnivorous. Flesh eating animals are called carnivorous. A carnivore is a predator because it has to find and catch its prey. Some carnivores like wolves hunt in groups. Cheetah usually hunt alone. They have well developed tearing teeth. Flesh eating birds like eagles and vultures have strong feet and sharp beaks and claws to catch other animals. Carnivorous insects like dragonfly hunt other small insects. Here next come to carnivores. Flesh eating animals. Here plant eating animals. Here flesh eating animals. They are called as carnivores. A carnivore is a predator. Predator means attacker. It attacks. It wants to attack because to get the flesh, it want to attack. It want to attack on other animals because it has to find and catch its prey. To catch its prey, it has should be a predator. Okay. Some carnivores like wolves hunt in groups. That means wolves hunt in groups because they are very, very small animals. They go by a group and they will hunt some animals for their flesh. Cheetah usually hunt alone because this is a big animal. It has so much of strength. So it hunts alone. They have well developed tearing teeth. That means piercing as well as stretching. That means to stretch the flesh. They have tearing teeth. Flesh-eating birds like eagles and vultures have strong feet and sharp beaks and claws to catch other animals. They have strong feet to carry the flesh as well as sharp beaks and claws to catch other animals. Carnivorous insects like dragonfly and other small insects. That means insects also present in carnivorous like dragonfly. They hunt other small insects. They hunt other small insects. Once again, I am reading. Flesh-eating animals are called carnivorous. A carnivore is a predator because it has to find and catch its prey. Some carnivores like wolves hunt in groups. Cheetah usually hunt alone. They have well-developed tearing teeth. Flesh-eating birds like eagles and vultures have strong feet and sharp beaks and claws to catch other animals. Carnivorous insects like dragonfly hunt other small insects. So this is about the carnivorous. Herbivorous means plant-eating animals like cow, goat, giraffe, horse, rabbit. All these comes under herbivorous. Next, carnivorous means flesh-eating animals. They eat the flesh of other animals. They eat the flesh of other animals by attacking on them, and they will what you call hunting. They hunt the animals. Okay, that is called as predator. Next, omnivorous. Omnivorous. Omnivores eat both plants and animals. Omnivores eat both plants and animals. Both plants and animals. They are called as omnivorous. I will read. Omnivores eat both plants and animals. Chickens are omnivorous. They eat seeds, but they can also eat worms. Human beings, bears, crows, and cockroaches are omnivorous. Omnivorous eat both plants and animals. Chickens are omnivorous. That means the hen are called as omnivorous. They eat seeds, but they can eat also worms, also small worms they eat. So they are omnivorous. For example, human beings also omnivorous. Next, bears, crows and cockroaches are omnivorous. These are the examples. Which are the examples? Chickens, human beings, and bears, crows, cockroaches. These are all the examples for omnivorous. Still more is there. So we have given some examples: chickens, human beings, bears, crows, cockroaches. These are all the examples for omnivorous. Okay. Any doubt? No doubt. That means the animals which eat both plants as well as the animals. They eat the vegetables, fruits, everything. Along with they eat the flesh of animals also. So they are called as omnivorous. Next we will go for parasites. Parasites, I will read. Organisms that live by drawing food from a host organism are called parasites. Mosquitoes, leeches and bugs are parasites. They live on or inside the bodies of other animals to arrange their food. They have sucking tubes to suck blood from their hosts. Here, the organisms that live by drawing food from a host organism are called parasite. That means these depend on the other animals for their food. These animals depend on others for their food. That is called as host animal. Host animal. That means on which they live are called as host animal. Okay. For example, mosquitoes. Have you seen the mosquitoes? Leeches and bugs are parasites. These are all called parasites because they depend on the others. They live in on or inside the bodies of other animals to arrange their food. They live on. Some leeches are they are live on our head. Okay, mosquitoes live outside, and some parasites, small parasites, live in our stomach also. Okay, for that reason we will giving the albendazole tablet in the schools to throw it out. Okay, parasites. They live on or inside the bodies of other animals to arrange their food. They have sucking tubes. They have sucking tubes like sharp tubes that mosquito have. Like this, sucking tubes are to suck blood from their hosts. That means to suck blood. The blood is the main food for these parasites. The blood of the host animal is the food for these parasites. Okay, they suck by piercing it. They suck, piercing into the skin, and they draw the blood for their food. Okay, they have sucking tubes to suck blood from their hosts. Okay, next, adaptation for survival. This is about the food, how they have adapted for the food. The animals grouped into 4 groups, that is herbivorous, carnivorous, omnivorous, and parasites according to what they eat, according to what is their food habits. Okay, here herbivorous eats only plants, carnivorous eats flesh, omnivorous both plants and animals, parasite depend on the host animal. So this is about this. Next, adaptation for survival. Adaptation for survival. Adaptation for survival. The distinct feature of some animals enable them to protect themselves and live long enough to reproduce. That means to live on the earth, they have adapted some special features. That means to protect from the enemies, that comes to eat them. Okay, or to protect from the other bodies or from the man. They have some special features. We will learn, that is called adaptation for survival. Adaptation for survival. That means to live. Survive means to live. Okay, survival means to live. The distinct feature of some animals enable them to protect themselves and live long enough to reproduce for their reproduction. Camouflage. Camouflage is a method used by an animal to blend its color with its environment so that it cannot be seen easily. Grasshopper blends with the green color and leaves and grass. Caterpillars assume the green color of leaves. Zebras, tigers, and leopards have stripes or spots on their bodies which help them merge or mix with the vegetation and grass around them. This camouflage, camouflage. So what is the meaning of this? This is a method used by the animals to blend with the color. That means if they have the white color, when they come in contact with the green color, they turn into green color. Their body converts into green color. That is called as camouflage. Okay. Here, this method is used by the animal to blend its color with its environment so that it cannot be seen easily. We can't see the animal easily. See how grasshopper blends with the green color of leaves. Grasshopper, which color they it has? Green color, so it always sits on the plants. Okay, and grass. Caterpillars assume the green color of leaves. Some caterpillars, they will, when come contact with the plants, they will change to their colors. Zebras have stripes. Tigers and leopards have stripes or spots on their bodies which help them to merge or mix with the vegetation and grass around them. When the dry grass is there, if some tiger or anything will sit, we can't identify easily them. To hide them from the hunters or from the other animals, it is very, very useful for these animals. Zebras, tigers and leopards have stripes or spots on their bodies. That means stripes or spots, that means markings on their bodies, helps them to protect themselves. Helps them to protect themselves. That means they merge or mix with the vegetation. That means the grass. Okay, grass are the plants where they are living and they will protect themselves. Next, warming coloration. Insects that are brightly colored are often poisonous. The bright colors of caterpillar and ladybird beetle make them inedible. That means they are having some warming colors. That means bright color. Some insects have bright color. Insects that are brightly colored are often poisonous. They are very, very poisonous. The bright colors of caterpillar and ladybird. Caterpillar and ladybird. Here they are not given. The ladybird has same like this structure. Okay. And it has markings, red color and black markings. Black markings like this. Here full red. Okay. That ladybird beetle make them inedible. That means inedible means it is not good for eating. Okay, if they eat that, they will die. Okay, it is a poisonous insect. It is a poisonous insect. Next, poisonous liquid. Bugs, beetles, toads and frogs produce poisonous liquids that repel attackers. That repel attackers. When you touch some frog or anything, it leaves or it produces some liquid which is bad smell, with bad smell or poisonous smell. So what we'll do, we will throw it. Okay, just to touch some insect, it will produce some bad smell or bad liquid which is very, very bad. We can't feel it. Okay, we can just throw it. Okay, that poisonous, that is the poisonous liquid. Bugs, beetles, toads and frogs produce poisonous liquid that repel attackers. That means if you want to attack them, we will repel from them. That means we will leave it and we will throw it. Like that, they will produce some poisonous liquids. Next, mimicry. Some insects like spiders copy the shape, color and habits of the other animals like ants to protect themselves. They will do mimicry. That means they will copy the same as the other. For example, some grasshoppers, like they will act like the same grass, same as the grass. Some like leaf-like structures. Some insects have leaf-like structure. So we can't identify easily which is the insect, which is the leaf. Okay, by this they will protect themselves. By this they will protect themselves. Next, some have the special body structure. Some have special body structure. For example, porcupines have sharp spines toward of their enemies. Turtles hide in their hard shells. Scorpions have harmful pincers and cows use their horns to protect themselves from enemies. That means these are all the adaptation to protect from the enemies. That means for the survival, for the purpose of living. Okay, here porcupines, see here they have given the figure. It has sharp needle-like structure. If any enemy will come, it will just do like this and the thorns will come and they will pierce to the enemy. So the enemy will run away. Turtles hide in their hard shells. Turtles, you know very well, they will hide inside everything. The leg, including legs and head, it will hide inside the shell. Hide inside the shell to protect from the enemies. And scorpions have harmful pincers. That means piercing to the poison, pincing the poison themselves from the enemies. That means to protect themselves from the enemies. See here, grasshopper, porcupines and scorpion they have given. Adaptation can be best explained with the help of the internet. We will see some videos about this. I am reading, so this completes your lesson. This completes how the adaptation in animals is taking place. That means to live on the earth, living for living purpose, for the food, as well as adaptation for the survival, to protect from the other animals. That means how to live on the earth, as well as how to adjust to the food and how to protect from the enemies. How they have adapted themselves, we have studied in this chapter. Okay, now we will go for fact file. The world has approximately 1 billion cattle, of which about 200 million belong to India. That means our India has so many cattle. For each one of 600 million people, there are about 200 million insects crawling and flying. That means throughout the world, 600 million people, there are about 200 million insects. There are 200 million insects are present. Okay, let us summarize. Animals can be classified as terrestrial, aquatic, amphibian, arboreal, and aerial according to their habitat. We have studied according to terrestrial, that means the animals which are living on the land, aquatic, the animals which are living inside the water, amphibians living both inside the water as well as the on the earth, arboreal, the animals which are living in the air, and aerial, the animals which are living on the trees according to their habitat. Animals that live on land are called terrestrial animals. Animals migrate or hibernate to survive in cold weather conditions. That means they will move from one place to another place. Hibernate. That means they will move from one place to another place, or they will hide in some places. They will hide in some places to protect themselves. Animals survive under different conditions by adapting themselves to their environment. That means to survive, they adapt themselves some special features. Camouflage enables many animals to hide from their predators. The predators means the attackers. Okay, I hope you understand very well. Okay, this completes your lesson. Thank you.